you spend most time studying or working with? Why?
I spend most of my time working at home with my wife. Actually, we are both English teachers and we spend a lot of time together at home, especially since the start of the COVID.
What kinds of things do you study or work on with other people? Why?
I'm not the kind of person who would like to work with other people. I do things best when I'm alone. So I would say nothing.
Are there times when you study or work better by yourself? Why? Why not?
Yes, like I previously mentioned, I always do things alone. I am most productive when I do things alone.
Is it important to like the people you study or work with? Why? Why not?
Absolutely, because I believe those people sweeten the peel. Okay, because you spend most of your time with them, and then if they're not agreeable people, they make it really hard for you.
Part 2. Describe a tourist attraction you enjoyed visiting. You should say what this tourist attraction is, when and why you visited it, what you did there, and explain why you enjoyed visiting this tourist attraction.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to start. I want to talk about the time that my wife and I visited Turkey, a city in the south of Turkey, Antalya, which is really famous for its beaches. We went there in I think it was 2016, and then we had an amazing time. Actually, we had a whale of a time there, and we did different kinds of things there. For example, while we were staying there, we stayed for about 4 or 5 days, I suppose, there, and then every day we would go to the beach, and then we spent a lot of time on the beach, and then I did a lot of sunbathing, and then we did some different sorts of water sports. For example, I don't really remember parasailing. I think we tried parasailing, and it was really amazing. That was an amazing experience that is going to stay with me for the rest of my life. Actually, I'm not a good swimmer, okay, but we swam a little bit there, okay. I tried to swim a little bit there, and it was just like floating in the water. It was not swimming. I cannot call it swimming. And while we were staying there, we did a lot of sightseeing. I don't know, we went shopping. You know, Turkey is really famous for its clothes, and then we bought a lot of them as souvenirs, some of them. And it was a really memorable trip because we had traveled there to take part in some international courses, Celta and Delta, and then after that we initially had gone to Istanbul, and after that we went to Accra. No, I forgot the name. Antalya. I'm sorry. We went to Antalya, and then that was an amazing trip. There you go.
What are the most popular tourist attractions in your country?
In my country, historical sites are really famous. There are historical sites in the southern part of my country, in the southwest of my country, Persepolis, for example, which is a national and international site, a national heritage for us. This is the place where some of the previous kings of Iran used to be, and then I don't know their names in English, and then but this is really popular with tourists.
How do the types of tourist attractions that younger people like to visit compare with those that older people like to visit?
Okay, I think younger people are more into fun stuff rather than tourist attractions that are appealing to older people. And I think they differ dramatically, okay? Like with younger people, it's about fun, and it's about doing things, and it's about doing something exciting and then finding the fun in everything. But with older people, it's usually about learning, you know, while they want to do something, while they are visiting some place, they want to learn at the same time. I think they are different. They are on a whole different levels.
Do you agree that some tourist attractions, for example, national museums or national galleries, should be free to visit?
That's a tough question. I think no. You don't really start to appreciate something when you don't pay for that. I believe, like, if you pay for something, only then will you start appreciating that. And apart from that, they need money, okay? They need money for maintenance, for security, I don't know, for different things, for different matters. I think no, they have to charge people.
Why is tourism important to a country?
Tourism is important for many different reasons. I think the first and foremost is that tourists bring a lot of money with themselves to the country. I think when tourists visit an area, the economy in that area starts to boom little by little, and then it creates job for the local people. And I think, you know, in the long run, that would benefit the country a lot.
What are the benefits to individuals of visiting another country as tourists?
The benefit to individuals, yeah. I think it depends on the country, you know. If they go somewhere, for example, tropical, if they want to go off the beaten track, for example, or for example, if they want to go on a safari or something, they are more into nature, and then they are more into fun, the fun part of the story. So I think they would enjoy themselves physically, okay, but if they are into culture and art, they would go somewhere with museums and, I don't know, with cultural sites and stuff like that.
How necessary is it for tourists to learn the language of the country they're visiting?
I believe that is not absolutely essential to know the language. But I think knowing a few basic words to get by in that language, and to do simple things, okay, I think that would be enough. As you know, nowadays everybody is using a mobile phone and a smartphone, okay, and then there are different applications that interpret and translate things simultaneously. So I think there is no need for that.